Mikal Bridges trade is officially completed, and the Knicks got another steal in the deal and also made some major cap space progress, and we have to break it down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do because the Mikal Bridges trade is complete. He is a Knick, baby. So now, on top of getting Mikal Bridges, Shams showed us something else that went down. He said the Knicks are also signing and trading Shake Milton as part of the Mikal Bridges-Bojan Bogdanovic trade to the Nets. And on top of that, Keita Bates-Diop will go to the Knicks. Shake Milton will sign a 3-year, $9 million contract with the Brooklyn Nets, essentially, with over minimum in year 1 and 2 non-guaranteed years, so the Nets could get out of the contract if they so choose. And they're also landing, the Knicks are also landing Keita Bates-Diop, as we know. And here is the breakdown on Keita. He's 6'8". He gives the Knicks a guy who can come in and out of the rotation and be a backup for Julius Randle. He's a good defender, can't really shoot the ball that well, but has good defense, has a decent defensive box plus minus and value over replacement players. You could see in limited minutes, he put up a little under 4 points and 2 rebounds per game. Obviously, he's not a great player. We're not going to act like Keita Bates-Diop is some massive steal, but this is a major move for the Knicks because they get a guy who can be in and out of the rotation and a very solid player in Diop, while at the same time, they are also cutting a lot of cap space as they have given both Shake Milton on a new contract and Mamadi Diakite to the Brooklyn Nets in the process, meaning the New York Knicks have a lot more cap flexibility than they did just a few hours ago. Now, here's the full trade. The Knicks will be receiving Mikal Bridges, obviously, and Bates-Diop, while giving Bojan Bogdanovic, Shake Milton, Mamadi Diakite, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, and a protected first. So the Knicks paid a pretty penny for Mikal Bridges. I'm getting my words mixed up. I'm excited. Mikal's officially a Knick. We've been making videos on this for the past forever, as long as Knicks Digest has been around, and finally it has happened. I made a video directly before Mikal got traded. I felt like an insider because I called it. I told you all the Knicks were a real destination for him. It came out, and then Mikal obviously wanted out of the Nets to specifically go to the Knicks and said, I will not re-sign with any team. I will tell them that, so they will not trade for me. I'm forcing your hand. You got to trade me to New York, and that is exactly what the Brooklyn Nets did. They got a lot for Mikal. The Nets should be proud of their package. The Knicks should be proud of theirs. This is a win-win trade. The Nets get to rebuild. They also were able to get back their own pick next year from Houston, meaning they can properly tank and try to get Cooper Flagg. I mean, they'll fail because they're the Nets, but they can properly tank for the first time in a while. Now, Cooper Flagg is the #1 prospect that everyone's looking for. He's going to Duke University. He's one of those guys who it feels like there's no way he doesn't pan out into the next level, and he will be the #1 overall pick in 2025. The Nets want to land him. Obviously, they only have a 14% chance to do so at best, so it's hard to imagine that that will work, but maybe it will, and I understand why they're doing that. But the New York Knicks, in the process, they get out of cap hell a little bit. They're now not going to go into the second apron, and they're also not in the first apron. And I did a little bit of a breakdown not too long ago on the first apron. Let's talk about this a little bit because I know not everyone fully understands it because it's real complicated. Now, the first apron, shout out to Yossi Golazan for this, basically means if you're over $178.1 million for a full team, the Knicks are no longer at that because of the trades they made. Now, they cannot take in more salaries in a trade that they're sending out, meaning if you want to trade a guy who's making $19 million, like Bojan, for a guy who's making $23, like Mikal, you just can't do it because you're over the first apron. Too bad. Sucks to be you. That is essentially what that means. Your mid-level exception, it just disappears. That $12.9 million, it goes down to $5.2 million, which is obviously a lot worse, and you're not going to be able to sign too many great players with that, or too many good players, even who you want to be in your rotation. You can't sign buyout players whose salaries are more than the mid-level exception or even to it, so $12.8 million or under. So if a player gets bought out and their salary is $12.8 million or under, you're good to go. Now, you also cannot use trade exceptions. So essentially, if the Knicks freed up a trade exception last season, which they did twice in both R.J. Barrett and Malachi Flynn, shout out to two Knick legends, especially R.J., because, well, Malachi had 50 points, but that was when he was on the Detroit Pistons, but still, I'm genuinely shocked that happened. Check out Ben Rogers' video on Raptors Digest called "I'm Genuinely Shocked About That." Or my TikTok on Knicks Digest. Check out Knicks Digest TikTok. I'm plugging a lot right now. But also now the Knicks will avoid the second apron in the process. And the second apron is crazy. Essentially, if you go past $188.9 million on your team's salaries, so everyone overall basically makes $189 million or more. Here's essentially the rule. You can't aggregate players in trades, so basically making trades becomes hell. You cannot send cash in trades. So, when you see, this team is traded for player A, player B, for player C, and cash considerations. Nope, you can't do cash considerations if you're over the second apron. Again, too bad, sucks to be you. Now, you also cannot do sign-in trades in exchange for players. So when Kevin Durant went to the Brooklyn Nets and the Nets, in exchange, had to sign and trade D'Angelo Russell and send him to the Golden State Warriors, I don't know why that's the one that comes to mind, but let me live. Essentially, you just couldn't do that. So if KD wanted to go to the Nets, but they didn't have money, and the Nets were over to the second apron, once again, too bad, sucks to be you. It actually comes from a saying that my friend would say to my other friend on PlayStation back in the day. And then also saying, no spending exceptions besides bird rights and minimum signings, meaning you do not get a mid-level exception at all, taxpayer or otherwise. You just don't get a mid-level exception. You don't get that $12.9 million. You don't even get that measly $5.2 million. What do you get? Zero. Nothing. Nothing for you. That is what that second apron means. It is hell. It is made to make super teams impossible. It is good for basketball. But the Knicks were getting a little close there, so they had to be very careful with what they did. And now they don't have to deal with this. They will not have to deal with all this. Also, after a few years, your picks just start going to the back of the first round. You could be the worst team in the league and have the number one overall pick. Nope, you're paying too much money. Back of the line, bucko. I've never said bucko before in my life. I don't know why I just started right now. But yeah, essentially, you don't want to get involved in those aprons whatsoever. And the New York Knicks just did a phenomenal job not doing it. That is the true steal of this trade, though I also love picking up Bates-Diop. Is he a great player? No, but he's fine. He's a good defender. Tibbs will find a use for him when other guys get injured. He's going to be situational. He's not going to be in the rotation. But now there's a 6'8" man to replace Julius Randle at points, so that's great. The New York Knicks added some size. They added Mikal Bridges, friend of Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. Ryan Arcidiacono is on his way. Stay tuned for that. I'll somehow make 8 minutes on a video about that. Unless you guys don't want to see that, I could do that on TikTok. So follow my TikTok at Knicks Digest, obviously. Guys, like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want more. I'm happy to break down some salary cap. I'm so weird that I actually know how the salary cap works. Feel free to ask me questions in below. Leave a comment. Is this team winning the finals? I kind of think they might. Mikal Bridges, perfect fit. Let's do this, guys. He's officially a Knick. Happy 4th of July. Have a great day. Go Knicks. Enjoy the barbecue. Or not if you just want to hang out at home like me and play video games.